Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in, checking us out this week. School is starting back. There's some of your students who are at least locally, back today. I know in other parts of the country they've been back for a couple of weeks. There's still some students I know we have here at Denman that won't start back till next week. But regardless of that, we're still kind of in the starting school, getting back in a routine, getting back in good sleep patterns maybe for some of our students. But I want to share with you a couple of tips, moms and dads and students, that I've found helpful over the years. Realistically, retrospective, looking back, being this part of my life where I'm not currently in school taking classes, but see my children taking classes, seeing other students involved in school. And these are three things that continue to kind of come up and revolve, and it's three things we can take into life as well, moms and dads. But one, when we think about school or work, moms and dads, we should approach it with an attitude of prayer. So one, we need to pray. Let me encourage you students, go ahead and pray for the day ahead. Pray for your teachers. Pray for your friends. Look for somebody to pray for each and every week, somebody different that you can pray for. Maybe it's, hey, there's a buddy of yours in your math class that you just say, Lord, put you on my heart, I'm praying for you. Or make a list of folks that are around you, and just in the conversations you have, you know that they don't know Jesus. They've never surrendered to Him, that you can pray for this year. And whether it's you pray for a different person a day or a different person each week, just get in a routine of prayer. But also, not just individuals, pray for students, pray for your teachers, pray for the activities going on, whether you play sports or in different kind of clubs. 1 Thessalonians 5:17 talks about that we should pray without ceasing, living with an attitude of prayer and putting it before the Lord, not being afraid to stop then and pray, and it should realistically be like a reflex for believers. When we come to a point and we say, hey, we're going to pray, hey, let's do it right now. We don't have to stop and get in our prayer closets, even though that's good and there's a time for that. But having an attitude of prayer, mindset of we can pray anytime, any place, and put that into motion. But also pray in a way, praying for people, but praying consistently all the time, but also pray for what the Lord is going to do before you. And in that, Philippians 4, 6, and 7 comes to mind about not being anxious about anything, but with thanksgiving through prayer and supplication or petition, make our requests known to God. And when we continually go before Him, and we know whether it's a tough class we've got, students, or maybe it's a relationship at school that might not have ended well last school year, and you hadn't thought about it this summer because I don't have to see that person every day, but now you do. Or it could transfer it to work, mom and dad. But to not be anxious about that relationship or being around that person, but with an attitude of thanksgiving, pray. Put it before the Lord. Make your requests known to Him. So number one, pray. And continue to pray. Don't just start off the school year good. Go through it. Go through the year continually praying. Get in a routine. Get in a cycle of praying each and every day, each and every week. The second thing I want to encourage you to do is this, and it leads to, the first one leads to number two, is set goals. Set goals. I was first challenged with this, unfortunately, after college, but before I started graduate work, of setting goals and the importance of setting goals. And when you do that, I was encouraged, and I encourage you, don't sandbag your goals. I've already challenged my children at home. This year, we're going to sit down. We'll give them a week to pray and think about it, and sit down, and let's talk about the goals you want to accomplish this year. Whether there's a subject in school you want to do better in, or a sport, or a friendship that you want to grow, or hey, I want to do better at reading my Bible this year, or I want to save X amount of dollars. Set these goals. I encourage you to do it, and don't sandbag. And by what what I mean by that is don't set such a low goal you obtain it next week. Oh, I can check that one off. I can move on to the next one. Let it be something you keep in front of you and you've got to work for and you got to move toward. It's not necessarily something that you can accomplish within the next day or the next week. And the second part of goals is this. A mentor of mine that really poured into me about goals said the important thing is set a date or set an expectation, like something you want to be able to do at the end of it. But setting a date makes a goal opposite of a wish. Because if we just say, well, this is my goal to do this, and we never say, well, I want to do it by a certain day, we're just hoping that one day we'll get to do it, and it's a wish. But set a date on it. Set an expectation that you want to be able to achieve being able to do something by a certain day, or maybe by the end of the semester, or you can look back in a couple months and say, okay, where am I on track with my goals? And write them down. Write the goals down, keep up with them, be able to check them throughout the year. You may have a goal for this first semester and then change it the next semester. That works too, but have an end date on your goal. So we pray, we set goals, which prayer should lead to goals. And the third one is this, and striving to achieve your goals will help you do this. The third one is this: finish well. Finish well. Whether it's this first week of school and you're learning where to go, you're getting your books. And I say finish well, I'm not even talking about assignments. If you just know, hey, this belongs here and I'm supposed to follow this rule and abide by this, do it. Finish well. Finish your days well. Finish your week well. And then it will continue to build. Colossians 3, the whole chapter really speaks to how we should live as believers and how Paul is challenging the church there to live in a way that reflects Jesus. Colossians 3:23 reminds us that we are to work heartedly as we are working for the Lord and not for men. And so if we take that attitude, believers, into the classroom, the ball field, mom and dad, we take it into work, it's going to change our whole outcome. It's going to change how we view work. It's going to change how we view school. It's going to change the relationships we have and everything that we may do. So let me encourage you this way. Work heartily. Work as you're working for the Lord. I know students, by the end of the day, you've got your assignments to turn in and you get a grade on that. Do it as you are working for the Lord. Honor the Lord with what you're doing. Honor the Lord with your friendships. Honor the Lord with the sports you play or the clubs that you're in, or whether you're in the band, whatever it might be. Strive to honor Him over everything else. And hopefully that you will grow closer to Him through these things, through spending time in prayer and making it a priority, to set those goals. So you have something you focus on, you achieve. You may put them on your dresser and see them in the morning before you leave, or inside your locker, or keep them in a binder that you carry with you. Put them in the Notes app in your phone, even, that you can look back and say, I really need to work on this week. And then finish well. Strive to finish your day well, your week well, your semester well, and ultimately your school year well. And so I pray that you will do this, and I pray honestly that God will use these things to help you grow in your relationship with Him.